What's up, guys? I don't make a whole lot of videos, so bear with me. Today I'm going to bring 2 drum pads to the table. Things are about to get really serious. So I play drums. I used to have a set a long time ago. I played drums most of high school. I didn't play in middle school. I had a Tama Rockstar kit, 7-piece set, double bass, all that good stuff. It was an awesome set. I unfortunately had to get rid of it. It had nothing to do with me not having the interest to play anymore. Financial issues, I had to get rid of them. So I did. Here we are now, 5 years later. I still enjoy playing. I beat on just about everything, including my penis. I'm always, making sounds and all kinds of stuff. So I decided that I was going to make my own drum pad so I could practice. I'm actually going to take my jacket off for this because it's going to be kind of hard to play with this big old thing on. So I have 2 drum pads, okay? The first one is very simple. It's very small. There's not a whole lot to these things. And the other one I got is a big one. So first of all, I'm going to start with this one. This is the first drum pad I made, which is really frustrating me because I've used this drum pad to make this drum pad better, but this right here is still my favorite. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because it's so small. I don't know if it has better bounce. I don't know. So with this drum pad right here, alright, now the only thing I did was I got there's rubber matting that goes up underneath weightlifting machines, stuff like that. You see this stuff in gyms. You see this stuff in a lot of places, but it's mainly used for weightlifting. It's a real thick rubber. I'd say probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. And it's rubber. It's meant for weights to land on. So what I did was I took 2 of those and I cut them out in the size of a circle, and I glued both of them together. I don't know if you can see the seam, but there's 2 there. So I put 2 of these, and I got this thick ass 3/4 of an inch plywood, and I put the pad on top of the plywood. Now this plywood is some thick ass shit. And yeah. So I put the 2 on top. Then on the back, this is an old mouse pad I used. I was first gonna, use it to give it some traction, which it does give it some traction. But it's also used for a different playing surface. It's for a quieter playing experience if you're trying to be a little quieter. Now I also did put these metal strips on both sides. That way you could get some accents in if you want to, or just get some different stuff going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just, demonstrate this pad right here. I'm going to move this camera back just a tad. There you go. Pad number 1. I'm just going to do some simple slow doubles. Now I'm going to show you the bounce. You get around 4 or 5 bounces, maybe 6 at the most. I'm going to take it up here, let it drop. Pretty good bounce. It's all doing it by itself. I'm not doing that. Okay, so that's this side. I really like this drum pad. Like I said, it's got good bounce to it. The only thing I like about it is that it's so small that whatever playing surface I put it on, it's going to vibrate. You hear all that noise? You hear that? Okay. Now this is it completely by itself. So it's loud, but it's not that loud. It's tolerable. And then for the other side, it's a very quiet playing surface. This is just like if you're wanting to get some strokes in or something without having to disturb the whole house. It is a mouse pad, so if I hit the fuck out of it, I'm gonna go right through the mouse pad and hit the wood on the back. So if I want to be loud, it's gonna be fucking loud because there's not that much in between this and the back of the wood. But now I'm gonna show you the strips. See the metal? So there. So that's the first drum pad. This is my favorite drum pad. I'm never going to toss this away. This thing literally cost me $0 to make. I had the weightlifting material already. I have access to wood. So literally this cost me nothing. I painted it black, obviously, all that good stuff. You know, put some tape on it to make it look like a, you know, kind of like a drum. This is an awesome drum pad. I really like this one. And like I said, I was using this drum pad to make this drum pad better. In some areas I succeeded, in some areas I did not. And I'm going to explain that. Drum pad number 1 out the way. Love that pad. Now for the next pad I was going for size. I wanted a nice playing surface. So I created this Haas, okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera angle. Oh, I can't. That's great. Anyway, so here it is. This is the pad. I guess I'm just going to hold it and talk. I get it from distance. This thing is, it's heavy. I'd say this thing weighs about 7 pounds. That one probably weighs about 3 or 4 pounds. So here it is. This was going to be my master. Thought I heard a ghost. This was going to be my master drum pad build, and I'm not going to do it anymore just because I'm satisfied with that one. And this one is decent too. Like I said, there's just some things that I don't like about it. So obviously, it's double-sided, or not double-sided, but it's got 2 different levels, 2 different tones, okay, 2 different sounds. And what I did with this one was, again, you can see the plywood, okay. On this one I did it differently. I did not use the 3/4 of an inch plywood. Instead I used 1/2 inch plywood. Now, if I could go back and do all this over again, I would use 3/4 inch because it absorbs most of the vibration. And it makes the pad more bouncier, if that makes sense. With this 1/2 inch, it's bouncy, but I don't know. And obviously you can see that I did the same level of design as I did on the first one. I got two single pads glued together. Over here, I continued it through on the bottom layer, and then I put some little layers of some softer pad in between those, put another bigger layer on top. Then right here, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but I used a hard, almost like a plastic, right? I put a plastic, I glued all of it down, it's pressure sensitive glue, so the more pressure you put on it, the better stick you get. So I put a lot of pounds of pressure on this thing. And then I put another smaller, thinner pad on top of the plastic to give it more of a harder sound. Because I wanted the accents like I did on the other side of the pad and on the other pad. And then of course I painted it all black, did a little tape design, you know, and then on the back it's got grip, so it can't slide around, which is really neat, which works pretty damn well. So this pad took me a while to make. I've probably been working on it for a couple weeks, just a little bit here and there. That pad that's over there literally took me 1 day to make, and I was happy with it. This pad right here is okay. I wish it would have turned out better. I really do. But it didn't. So it's a learning curve for me. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do another one, but who knows, I might. This is a pretty nice drum pad though. I mean, it's nice and big. It's a lot better than spending, you know, the $40 to $60 on a new drum pad when I can make my own for absolutely nothing. So I'm going to play drum pad number 2 for you. Now, like I said, there's 2 different sides, so 2 different levels. So here we go. That's the top. A little more louder. That's all there is to it. That's this drum pad. I mean, it's very simple. You still get decent bounce, you know. It's not as good as the other pad, but it's right a little less than the other drum pad. We get about 5 bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe. You know, that's what the other one was getting to, but this one feels different. That's what I'm saying, and it kind of sounds different too. I'll give you a comparison too. I did the same thing, other than using a 3/4 inch plywood on the other pad and using 1/2 inch on this one. I really think if I would have used 3/4 inch, first of all, it would have made this drum pad extremely freaking heavy. I mean, it would have been at least that thick, you know, and nobody wants to tote that around. I'm not saying that I'll be toting this around all the time, but I will be toting it from place to place occasionally. So it's nice that it doesn't weigh 10 pounds. And this table does make it sound a little different, so what I'll do is just like I did for the last one, I'll lift it up, let you hit it, or hear it. This thing sounds great when it's sitting on a pillow or something. This pad's pretty good. I like the way it looks for sure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put both drum pads next to each other and let you hear the difference between them. You should be able to. So at first glance, both of these drum pads, from the top height of this one, it's about the same height. It's a little bit, obviously you can see it's a little bit smaller. Now to the other pad level, it's a little bit taller. So now I'm going to demonstrate the different sounds between all 3 surfaces. So you got this surface, and this surface. Even though these 2 surfaces I tried to mock, I wanted them to sound the same because this pad has great bounce. You get the point. So, you can definitely tell the difference in this pad and this pad. This has a little more of a bottom end sound, this has a little more of an upper end sound, at least to me. that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. We got 2 different drum pads here. One's a lot bigger than the other, and I'll actually give you a size comparison because on the table you can't really tell. So, drum pad number 1, or I'm sorry, drum pad number 1. See the difference? A lot bigger. And this one is obviously heavier because it's got more on it. Like I said, this is probably about 3 pounds. This is probably about 5 or 6 pounds. It feels like it for sure. So yeah, it's both drum pads. If you have any questions or more ideas to give me, that'd be awesome. So I'm gonna end this video right here. It's already at 15 minutes. I did not expect it to be this long. I don't do a whole lot of videos on YouTube, but I figured, I may as well make a video for this drum pad because I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't have to spend any money to make this. I made it completely at home. Anybody can do this. You just have to have the right materials. The most important thing about this whole drum pad, I don't know if I think I've said this a couple of times. I used pressure sensitive. Did you hear that? There's fucking ghosts at my work. Pressure sensitive glue. It's called Exclusive 230. Now, not everybody is going to have access to that because I work at a flooring place. Okay, vinyl that goes in bathrooms, kitchens, wherever you want to put it. Vinyl, sheet vinyl. You use the pressure sensitive glue on that stuff because it's made out of a rubber. So that's what I did with this rubber right here. It's because I wanted them to cohere extremely well. I did not want them to come apart. That's the last thing I wanted these drum pads to do, was fall into pieces. So that's why I said I had several 100 pounds of pressure on these things, because like with this one right here, I had a piece of wood sitting on top of that, and this was after I freshly glued these. And then what you do is, you put something flat on it and then put weight on it and let it sit for about 12 to 16 hours. Then you get this really good bond. Like, check this out. I can't. There's no way that's coming off. I cannot pull it. It won't let me. Now on this pad, there are some areas where I can pull up a little bit. See that? Which bugs me, because that makes a difference in the way the pad sounds. Listen, I'm gonna lift up on it just a little bit. Hear that? It's can't get a bounce, but when I push it down. But I don't play on the edges. I play in the middle. So, but I didn't let weight sit on it long enough yesterday. But it's not coming off of the bass. It's not wanting to come off, at all. So to me, works. Job well done. So it's awesome. I got two drum pads now, both homemade. So you can't beat that. So y'all have a good day. I'm out.